Good morning. The Maryland Public Service Commission will come to order. A relatively light agenda today, and we will start by approval of the minutes for the January 8th, 2020 meeting. All in favor? Aye. The minutes are approved. Mr. Secretary, the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, there are 3 items on today's consent agenda. Item 1 is a request from Tenaska Power Management LLC to amend its electricity supplier license to include broker services. Item number 2 is a notice of cancellation of bond for Zap My Bill LLC. Item number 3 is a request to cancel Innovari Market Solution LLC's electricity supplier license.
Thank you. Do commissioners have any questions? Commissioner O'Donnell.
A couple quick questions. On item 1, I don't know who can answer this, but does adding this change to the license create any new or additional bonding requirement for the company?
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Paige Shaw on behalf of staff. No, that does not.
So it's covered under the original bonding. Okay, very good. And on item 3, not sure who has that one.
That's me too.
Okay. I just noticed on the bug sheet on the front it says, does the company owe out any outstanding assessments? And yes, and both yes and no are checked.
Sorry, that's my mistake. It should be just yes.
Just yes, and so this will be turned over to Central Collections Unit for that. Okay, very good. I wasn't sure of their status. Maybe they had paid in the interim or something that happened.
Nope, just missed the box.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Linton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. I had a question for item number 3. I note that the company's original approval for a license was in May of 2017, and so they're canceling after only 2 years. Did they provide any update or information as to why they were leaving the state?
They just said they went out of business in 2018. So they've been out of business for almost 2 years now. In February 22nd of 2018, they went out of business.
Oh, all right. That's not too successful. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I
Ms. Shaw?
I had one correction to item 2. In my write-up, I wrote that it's the cancellations from Washington International Insurance Company, but it should be Liberty Mutual Surety.
Great. Thank you for that notation. With that, are there motions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For item number 1, I would move that we grant the company's request to amend its electricity supplier license to include broker services. For item number 2, I move that we cancel Zap My Bill LLC's electricity supplier license. And for item number 3, I move that we approve the cancellation request.
Thank you. All in favor? The motions are approved. Mr. Secretary, the administrative agenda.
Mr. Chairman, item number 4 is a proposal from Baltimore Gas and Electric Company to revise its Rider 1 standard offer service and Schedule PL tariffs to include the standard offer service administrative cost adjustment.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. David Hoppick on behalf of staff. In order 89400 in case 9610, the Commission set the standard offer service administrative adjustment to 1.09 mils per kilowatt hour. BGE has made a compliance filing to incorporate the Commission determined standard offer service administrative adjustment and include it in the Rider 1 SOS administrative charge. Additionally, BGE has updated Schedule PL private lighting rates, which are fixed monthly rates inclusive of all energy costs based on SOS Type 1 rates. Staff has confirmed that BGE has correctly added the SOS administrative adjustment to the SOS administrative charge. Staff recommends that the Commission accept the revised tariff pages for filing with an effective date of December 17th, 2019.
Thank you, Mr. Hoppick. Does Counsel for the Utility have anything to add?
Good morning, Chairman Stanek and Commissioners. Beverly Sikora for BGE. Nope, I have nothing else, just here for questions.
Thank you, Ms. Sikora. Do commissioners have any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the revised tariff pages for filing with an effective date of December 17th, 2019.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is approved. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, item number 5 is also from Baltimore Gas and Electric Company, a proposal to revise electric and gas base rates pursuant to order number 89-400.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Benjamin Baker on behalf of staff. On December 18th, 2019, BGE filed revised tariff sheets to implement electric and gas base rates in compliance with Commission Order 89400, case number 9610, issued on December 17th, 2019. The order accepted the joint motion for approval of agreement of stipulation and settlement, which agreed to increase electric and gas base rates by $25 million and $54 million respectively. For BGE's electric tariff, the filing will update BGE's electric rates, remove 4 closed electric riders, set the ERI charge to 0, and revise Schedule RD's tariff language. For BGE's gas tariff, the filing will update BGE's gas rates and establishes Schedule EG. Staff recommends the Commission accept the revised tariff pages for filing with an effective date of December 17th, 2019. Additionally, on page 2 of staff's filing, the last sentence of the page, we need to revise that to rate Schedule RD instead of RL.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Ms. Sikora?
Same as last one. No additional comments, just here for questions.
Thank you. I only have one question. It sort of was eye-catching. With respect to the buck sheet, I saw that the optional firm delivery service for over 10,000 therms, the increase is 175%. What was the reason for such a large increase? I know in the whole scheme of things, in terms of the rates, it's nominal, 2 cents. Was there a mechanism that resulted in that increase, if either the company or staff know an answer? This was on page 5 of the buck sheet, the last
Oh,
row.
that's a good question. I didn't think it was supposed to be going up that much, so, we can certainly look into it and get back to you.
Okay, but I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
so the proposed rate is 2 cents. Did staff have anything to add? If you know?
This is Margaret Tuberty on behalf of staff. My understanding is this is a function of the rate design worksheets, but I can provide further analysis and follow up later.
Okay, thank you. I figured it was a functional sort of byproduct of the rates, but it stood out on its own compared to all of the other changes in terms of a percentage. Thank you. Do commissioners have questions? With that, Ms. Tuberty, if you can get back to me on that, I would appreciate that, but we're prepared to take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move the Commission accept the revised tariff pages for filing with an effective date of December 17th, 2019.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is approved.
Mr. Chairman, item number 6 is a petition from the Office of Staff Counsel for a waiver of Comar Provision 20.62.02.026.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Annette Garofalo on behalf of Commission staff. Under Comar 20.62.01.04, the Commission is allowed to waive regulation for good cause shown in 2062. And staff is seeking a waiver of Comar 20.62.02.02A6, which provides that unused Year 2 category capacity in the Community Solar Energy Generation System Pilot Program be allocated on a pro rata basis to one or more of the other 2 categories during Year 3 of the 2015 pilot. At the time these regulations were written and adopted, the Community Solar Project had a 3-year life. However, due to legislation during the 2019 legislative session, the circumstances that originally drove this pro rata allocation have been changed. Specifically, during its 2019 session, the Maryland General Assembly extended the length of the 2015 pilot from 3 years to 7 years, or not later than December 31, 2024. And it also directed that the capacity limits for each pilot category increase throughout the duration of the amended pilot. And you have heard revised regulations on that. Because Comar 20.62.02.02A6 was adopted to assure that all capacity would be assigned prior to the end of the 2015 pilot, This regulation as written is no longer necessary. Any unsigned Year 2 category capacity can be assigned to the same category during Year 3 according to the waiting lists kept by the participating electric companies or through new applications received. A pro rata assignment to other categories may be appropriate in a subsequent program year if there is unused category capacity at the end of the pilot program. And in fact, staff has proposed revised regulations containing a similar pro rata revision applicable to the seventh and last year of the revised pilot. There's no opposition to this request, and Mr. Vanderhayden is available to answer questions regarding how this mechanism would work.
Thank you, Ms. Garofalo. I recognize that Summit Ridge Energy also filed comments in support. Are there any additional parties in the audience that wish to speak to this item? Seeing none. Yes, Ms. Garofalo, I agree with you. As a function of state law, this section no longer serves a purpose. I am concerned, however, that if we grant a indefinite or permanent waiver, this derelict regulation will remain in Comar indefinitely. Would it not be better to strike this regulation in an upcoming rulemaking, or is that your intent to propose that subsection 6 be struck from Comar?
We did propose that, that this regulation be amended, and that the pro rata amendment, the pro rata allocation be changed from the third year to the seventh year. That would be the last year of the pilot. Simply because at this point in time, we don't know for sure if this will become actual law.
So when that proposed regulation becomes final, that regulation will supersede this one, is
It
that
would,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
We are at the end of Year 2 now, so we want to go into Year 3, and so this creates a little uncertainty at this point.
That being said, I think it would be best, instead of a permanent waiver, if the commission considers a time-limited waiver in which to provide a bridge to have it replaced. Would there be any concern with perhaps just granting a one-year waiver of this?
No concern, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
We would be-
Do the commissioners have questions?
Just a quick question on the projected timeline for such a rulemaking to clean this area of Comar up and make it fit the new statute. When do we think that will happen roughly?
So you've had the initial rulemaking, and my understanding is that these rules haven't been published. I think that's because there's right now a limit that Annapolis is not publishing new regulations, but I think they will begin publishing them again in about a month. And so after that, I think there would be publication, 30 days. You would have another rulemaking that would be final, hopefully, one never knows.
Maybe this summer sometime.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I had just one question regarding the timeline or the scheduling here. So you stated a few moments ago, Ms. Garofalo, that we were in the second year of the program? Is that?
We are at the end of, in the second year, and the third year will begin
In the fall. It's already, Your Honor, the third year would have started about 12 months after 2018's second year start, which was around October. So the utilities are in the mode where they can begin granting third year allocations. We need to make sure that they don't run afoul of this regulation. If they leave, for example, all of the LMI capacity that's unused in the LMI capacity for year 3. So they need to be able to do that. So year 3 is essentially underway, and the utilities can begin releasing capacity as soon as this matter has been cleared up.
Okay, so is it safe to say then that by the time of December, I think in your comments you said the 7 years would end not later than December 31st, 2024. So will we have 7 years of program data or information by that time, or are we?
I believe that roughly corresponds to when we should have the additional 4 years of capacity, which
Right.
would not begin to be awarded to projects until October of 2020 of this year. So I believe at that point, we will have allocated each year's incremental amount, and we should be At that point, there will probably be some projects that are not yet completed or possibly capacity that's unused. It's kind of hard to tell at this point. But we are on a schedule to release all of the capacity prior to the end of the program.
Okay, so if we proceed with the motion as proposed currently, which would be about a year for extension, are we talking a year from today or a year from, what would that end date be for 1 year?
It's my understanding that when we had the community solar rulemaking back in December, staff proposed to change the wording in this specific regulation that says years 2 and years 3 to year 6 and year 7. Once that regulation is published and goes into effect, then we will, the 2 and 3 won't need to be waived because it won't be in the regs anymore. Right now, until those regs that the commission's already had one rulemaking on, and I believe are perhaps in process, once those regs are published and become final, this waiver will no longer be necessary because the rules will not say to reallocate the year 2 capacity differently in year 3. Those new rules will say anything left unused in year 6 will be allocated in year 7, and I believe there was perhaps a little bit of a change to how that allocation will occur in year 7. So what we need to do now is allow the utilities to waive that regulation and be able to leave the capacity in the unused categories in the same category from year 2 to 3. That will then go away once the new regulations are in effect. So this regulation won't be deleted. It's been edited to change years 2 and 3 to years 6 and 7, from my recollection of how the rulemaking happened.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For item number 6, I move we grant the staff's request to waive COMAR 20620202A6 until January 15th, 2021.
Thank you. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
The motion is approved. Thank you. Seeing no additional business, this meeting is adjourned.